霸道女总裁向穷小子下跪求婚。
Will you marry me?
No.
Would you please, cherries on top, marry me?
见平日嚣张跋扈的上司如今卑躬屈膝，男人深吸一口气。
Okay, I don't appreciate the sarcasm, but I'll do it.
说完，他便头也不回地离开了。女人这么做却是为了一张小小的卡片。玛丽是一家知名出版公司的高管，工作雷厉风行，为人极为强势。一旦她的身影出现在办公室，气氛立即就会降至冰点。员工们表面上对她毕恭毕敬，私底下却都称呼她为女魔头。安德鲁已经做了她3年的助理，每天小心翼翼地跟在玛丽身边，稍有不慎就会遭到一顿责骂。玛丽想找著名作家来参加访谈节目，可副总裁却迟迟没有请来。
I have told you that is impossible. Frank hasn't done an interview in 20 years.
Well, that is interesting because I just got off the phone with him and he is in.
玛丽认为鲍勃根本就没有去联络，于是直接开除了他。
I will give you 2 months to find another job and then you can tell everyone you resigned, okay?
这立刻引起了鲍勃的不满，追出来对着玛丽就是一阵臭骂。
You poisonous bitch!
员工们瞬间成了吃瓜群众。
You can look good to the board because you are threatened by me. Semblance of a life outside of this office.
Listen carefully, Bob. I didn't fire you because I feel threatened. Because you're lazy, entitled, incompetent, and if you say another word, didn't think so. I have work to do.
他让安德鲁周末整理鲍勃手头的项目。安德鲁本想周末回老家一趟，因为刚好是奶奶90岁大寿，可话到嘴边他却又咽了回去，表示很高兴可以在公司加班。玛丽的生活看似光鲜亮丽，但很快天大的麻烦就找上了门。原来她的签证马上到期，而新的签证申请又被移民局驳回，她将面临被遣送回加拿大的危机。如果签证的问题解决不了，老板将解除她身上的所有职务。这对于事业正在上升期的玛丽来说，无疑是一个晴天霹雳。就在她不知如何是好时，安德鲁正好走进来向她汇报工作。看着眼前跟了自己3年的穷小子，玛丽心中突然有了一个大胆的想法。她示意安德鲁来到身边，然后宣布2人正在谈恋爱。
I think there's something that you should know. We're getting married. We are getting married.
Who's
You and I are getting married.
虽然上司对他们的关系提出质疑，但老板还是祝贺了2人，并让他们赶紧去完成结婚登记，这样玛丽就能获得绿卡继续留下。很快这件事就在公司内网传开，同事们纷纷觉得不可思议。女总裁爱上穷小子被大家津津乐道。安德鲁起初是拒绝的，可玛丽却拿他的前途作为交换，只要自己成功拿到绿卡，法定时效过后2人就办理离婚。他许诺会让安德鲁升职主编作为补偿。安德鲁在半利又半胁迫之下，最终答应了这个荒唐的请求。可当2人来到移民局想要申请未婚夫妻签证时，调查员却质疑起他们的关系。原来移民局接到匿名举报，声称玛丽是为了避免被驱逐出境，所以才跟安德鲁假结婚的。玛丽立刻猜到肯定是鲍勃举报的，她解释举报的人是因为不满离职的员工，是对被他开除进行的恶意报复。调查员警告他们，如果被调查出2人是假结婚，那不仅玛丽会被驱逐出境，安德鲁还要面临25万美金的罚款以及5年的牢狱之灾。听到这里，安德鲁开始了他的表演。
The truth is, Margaret and I are just 2 people who weren't supposed to fall in love, but did.
情真意切的表演让调查员信以为真。玛丽还说周末要到安德鲁的家乡，一起去庆祝奶奶的90岁大寿。调查员表示等他们回来，会对2人进行分开询问，问一些真正情侣之间才知道的秘密。如果2人的答案不能一致，那他们将共同承担严重的后果。从移民局出来，安德鲁心里极不平衡，自己显然要比玛丽承担更大的风险，于是提出接下来的行程由他来决定，并让玛丽用请求的语气和他说话。为了逃避被遣返的命运，玛丽只好低下了高贵的头颅。安德鲁的心情也好了不少。接下来2人便一起乘坐飞机前往安德鲁的家乡拉斯维加斯。奶奶和母亲在机场迎接他们。玛丽发现了一件奇怪的事，小镇上的超市、摄影楼以及很多店铺都用安德鲁的姓氏派斯顿命名，这让她不禁开始怀疑身边的助理会不会是个隐藏的富二代。
Please, don't do that. You didn't tell me about all the family businesses.
She was probably just being modest, dear.
奶奶的话印证了她的猜测，安德鲁确实是小镇财阀家的少爷。他们乘坐游轮来到一处小岛，映入眼帘的城堡就是安德鲁的家。巨大的反差让玛丽觉得自己是个小丑。曾经她还嘲笑安德鲁是个穷小子，眼前的一切可谓是对他狠狠打脸。安德鲁的家人对玛丽热情款待，可父亲却瞧不起儿子编辑助理的工作，嘴里满是对安德鲁的不认可，认为他是在虚度光阴，还不如回家来继承家族的产业。听着父亲略带嘲讽的语气，安德鲁却早就习以为常。 在派对快要结束的时候，他向大家介绍了玛丽，并宣布两人要结婚的喜事。众人纷纷为他们鼓掌祝福。在大家一再的起哄声中，两人最后只好尴尬的亲吻。母亲为他们准备了一间海景房。这时家里的小狗跑了进来，玛丽被这个小家伙吓了一跳。等大家走后，安德鲁就打起地铺，玛丽也非常尴尬，躺在床上翻来覆去睡不着。不知过了多久，他们才进入梦乡。隔天一早，玛丽被客户的电话吵醒，为了不打扰安德鲁休息，她拿着手机来到屋外接听。跟她一起出门的还有小狗，狗叫声引起了树上老鹰的注意。只见老鹰一个俯冲将小狗抓起，玛丽急忙把手机砸向老鹰，成功将小狗救下。可就在她捡起手机想要离开时，老鹰却再次向她扑了过来，一把将刚才砸她的手机给抓走了。
No, 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 no. Take the doggy. Look at the doggy. I need that phone. Take the dog. Take the dog. I need that phone. Here, take the dog. Take the dog. Take the dog. Take it. Take it. Take it.
这一幕被远处的奶奶和母亲看到，他们还以为玛丽在和小狗玩耍，对她的好感又增加不少。安德鲁走上前询问发生了什么事，玛丽把手机被老鹰抓走的事告诉了他。安德鲁让他不要着急，等自己去镇上帮他再买一部。为了不让家人以为他们在吵架，两人只好拥抱来扮演恩爱的情侣。打高尔夫的父亲找到安德鲁，他和妻子白手起家建立了事业王国。如今两人的身体和精力大不如以前，于是父亲有了想要退休的计划。他想让安德鲁回来继承家族产业，不要在外面做那些没有意义的工作。
You have responsibilities here. I think I've been more than understanding about your goofing off in New York. I need you to quit playing around
Here
and
we
come
go
home.
again. When are you going to start taking what I do seriously?
安德鲁只想成为一名好的编辑，他想努力去追求自己的梦想，而不是回来继承万贯家产，每天过着纸醉金迷的生活。两人因此再次大吵一架。安德鲁挥舞着斧头发泄情绪，这一幕被从小镇回来的母亲看到，她怒气冲冲地找到丈夫，指责他不该和儿子吵架。
He is my son. I only get to see him every 3 years because of you.
她命令丈夫赶快去弥补这一切，不要让儿子再次离家出走。玛丽在浴室里洗澡，戴着耳机的安德鲁没有注意，本想洗澡的他和玛丽撞得满怀。这对假夫妻再次遭遇尴尬，因为共处一室，这样的事情不可避免的发生。晚上两人都有些不好意思。玛丽首先打破宁静，为了应对移民局的调查，她决定把内心的秘密告诉安德鲁，两人因此有了深入了解对方的机会。谈话从最开始的调侃到逐渐的真情流露。玛丽卸下防备，展现出脆弱的一面。她讲述了年幼失去双亲的悲惨经历，只有忙碌的工作可以让她忘却伤痛。上次副总裁骂她是恶毒的女魔头，她偷偷躲进厕所哭了一顿。
I feel sorry for you because you know what you're going to have on your deathbed? Nothing and no one.
其实他也害怕孤独，看似高冷强悍的他，实则有着想要被人呵护的内心。安德鲁静静聆听并给予安慰。
You are a very, very beautiful woman.
玛丽内心悄然萌生出一种莫名的情愫，她定好闹钟醒在安德鲁之前，然后整理头发和面容，只为给安德鲁一个好的印象。然而她的计划却被敲门声打乱。
Breakfast for the happy couple.
门外是母亲来给他们送早餐，玛丽急忙把安德鲁叫醒，两人在床上表现出一副亲密的模样。母亲想在奶奶的寿宴上为他们举办婚礼。
Oh no! It's Gammy's big birthday tomorrow night. We don't want to ruin it. That's
It'd be a dream come true for me to see my one grandchild's wedding. So you'll do it before I'm dead?
okay.
见奶奶满脸期待，两人只好答应。接下来就是为玛丽准备婚纱，他们一起来到自家的婚纱店，奶奶拿出祖传的项链给她戴上，这在家族里已经传承超过150年。
She was good for him. I want you to have it.
I can't.
Oh, I don't want to hear it. It's you. Grandmothers love to give their stuff to their grandchildren. It makes us feel like we'll still be part of your lives even after we're gone.
奶奶的话让玛丽很受感动，久违的亲情让她忍不住热泪盈眶。她开始后悔欺骗安德鲁的家人。回去的路上，玛丽内心十分纠结，她无法接受良心的谴责，也不愿看到奶奶得知真相后的失望。一不小心，玛丽跌入冰冷的海水，安德鲁急忙将她救上游艇，并抱着她帮她取暖。此刻两颗心也在慢慢靠近。回到家，一个不速之客又找上了门，原来是移民局的调查员。他把两人假结婚的事告诉了父亲，并要求安德鲁写一份坦白声明，否则就要把他送进大牢。
You want a statement? Here's your statement. I've been working for Margaret Tate for 3 years. 6 months ago, we started dating. We fell in love. I asked her to marry me. She said yes. I'll see you at the wedding.
安德鲁决定保护这个内心脆弱的女人。很快，婚礼就在安德鲁的家中举行。奶奶挽着玛丽的手走向舞台，家族的亲友都来见证他们的幸福时刻。可就在主持人准备宣读誓言时，玛丽却向众人坦白了一切。
I am a Canadian. Yes, with an expired visa, who was about to be deported. And because I didn't want to leave this wonderful country of yours, I forced Andrew here to marry me.
Margaret, stop.
See, Andrew has always had this extraordinary work ethic. And I knew that if I threatened to destroy his career, he would do just about anything. So I blackmailed him to come up here and to lie to you. Turns out it's not easy to ruin someone's life once you find out how wonderful they are. You have a beautiful family. Don't let this come between you. This was my fault. This was a business deal, and you held up your end, but now the deal is off.
玛丽说完便离开了婚礼现场，和调查员一起返回纽约。他有24小时准备回加拿大的时间。安德鲁回到房间，看到玛丽留下的纸条。玛丽肯定了他的创作才华。安德鲁曾把自己写的小说拿给他看。玛丽表示会在离开前让公司买下版权。
Have an amazing life. You deserve it.
安德鲁想去阻止玛丽离开，却被父亲拦下。他不想让这场闹剧继续。奶奶见他们争吵，突发了心脏病。母亲急忙叫来私人飞机，准备把奶奶送去小镇的医院。奶奶在飞机上让父子俩别再吵了。
You'll never see eye to eye, but your family. Promise me you'll stand by Andrew, even if you don't agree with it.
I promise.
Andrew, promise me you'll work harder to be a part of this family.
I will. I will, Gabby.
看到儿子和孙子和好，奶奶突然摘下面罩，说她感觉好多了。原来奶奶的心脏病是假装的。玛丽回到公司收拾自己的行李，这时安德鲁气喘吁吁地找了过来，他向玛丽做了深情告白。
I need to talk to you.
Fine, what?
3 days ago, I loathed you. I used to dream about you getting hit by a cab or poisoned.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I told you to stop talking. Then we had our little adventure up in Alaska, and things started to change. Things changed when we kissed, until I was standing alone in a barn, wifeless. Now, you can imagine my disappointment when it suddenly dawned on me that the woman I love is about to be kicked out of the country. So, Margaret, marry me.
其实真正的爱情不需要太多的外在条件，它会在不经意间悄然降临。我们要敢于面对自己的内心，勇于追求真爱，在这个快节奏的时代放慢脚步，去寻找那份简单而纯粹的爱情。
You cut me